Hello, this is the second of 6 videos to get you writing inspired by Bristol Zoo Gardens and to enter the poetry and short story competition. In this video, we're going to think about wishes, spells, and then the great zoo at the end for you to take away. We're here in Bug World and I'm with the leaf cutter ants here. And I'm going to invite you to imagine some wishes on behalf of some of the animals at the zoo. So maybe make a mind map of some of the animals that you really love, that you know are at Bristol Zoo Gardens. Choose one to focus on and you can look it up on YouTube, watch some videos. I'm always researching, it's a great thing to do. And then you're going to speak in its voice or their voice, perhaps, if you're ants. What does that animal wish for? What would it wish for in the future? And you're going to keep repeating, I wish or we wish. So I've done that with the ants here. I've just spent a little bit of time watching them, being busy, and written this little leaf cutter ant wish poem using we wish to start. We wish the world was our leaf. We wish you would filter in turn like we do. We wish our fungus crop is bountiful. We wish for delicious fermentation, because they harvest fungus. We wish for a forest which has never heard the chainsaw's cry. So just keep going with I wish or we wish and see what you find out that you think your animal might wish for, whether it's in the zoo or in the wild. So pause me now and maybe spend 10 minutes doing that. Okay, so now you've written some wishes on behalf of an animal, in the voice of an animal. I'm going to invite you to write a blessing or a spell. And this can be to one particular animal or for the whole zoo if you want, or for several animals. I'll leave it up to you. A really nice way of starting these is using this phrase, may you, or just may. And if you want a lovely example of a blessing poem, Lucille Clifton has a poem called Blessing the Boats, which we'll try and put in the a link to in the info on this film. So I've decided to write a blessing for the sloths or sloths, we're not sure, you can decide, and I'm going to go and read it to the sloth or sloth now. I've written a slow blessing for the sloths, and obviously your blessing will be completely different because it depends which animal or animals you want to bless. So, a slow blessing for the sloths. May your fur be verdant with algae and may your spine be long like your life. May we embrace change slowly like the perfectly angled branch. When you climb down the tree for your twice weekly wee, may the ground be soft and welcoming. In the tropical forests we hope for, may your kind be ripe as fruit. So maybe when you write your blessing poem, think not only about the animals here, but what about those animals' habitat and their place in the wider world as well. Okay, by this point you've written some wishes in the voice of an animal, you've written a spell or a blessing for the animals at Bristol Zoo. And this might have shown up some of the ways that you feel about this move that Bristol Zoo is having from this site to a new site. So talk to the people around you in your class or the folks that are around at home about the ways that you feel about this. What might it be? And just make a little mind map of those feelings. I'm going to invite you to do something. You can pause me now as well if you want to do that, but I'm going to invite you to do something called the Great Zoo. There's a Cuban poet called Nicholas Guillen, and he thought you could have anything in the Great Zoo, an emotion, a feeling, an idea. And so here we've got a couple of zoo signs, right? Here's one for the African penguin. It tells us the Latin name, and it gives us a description, says where the name comes from. It says where they live, what they eat, how long they live, and about their extinction risk as well, which it says is very high, sadly. And we've got one here for the Inca tern as well that are whizzing around this space. So what I've done is I've made a zoo sign for a feeling about moving from this site to the new site. And that feeling is courage. And here's my zoo sign that I've made. Courage, Latin name Bravuria tentativa. Courage lives in our hands as much as our hearts. It eats a plant called nervosia, nibbles its edges, then chomps whole leaves. Courage has a roar, a meow, a purr, a whisper. It can live forever if we take care of it, though it's at risk in the moment of choice. So think about your feeling and then you might want to do another mind map. What it eats, where it lives, use everything from these signs and anything else you can think of, and imagine what the zoo sign would be for your feeling about the zoo's move.